In this video, we'll go through the solutions to quiz 5. The first problem, we had to fix a chart where the x and y axes were reversed. We knew that because when we calculated beta in cell D10 by taking the slope of the security returns plotted against the S&P returns, we got a different number, 1.01, than the slope of the trend line in the chart. And so we can reason by clicking on the chart and looking at the series formula that we should have had D as the as the Y data and E as the X data, but we were reversed here. So concisely we could say that the X and Y axes were reversed. And so there are three ways to fix that. One would be to click on the series markers and just drag the boxes appropriately. We'll move the blue one out of the way so we can set the purple one there and then move the blue one back. Wouldn't want to set one on top of the other. Another way that we could do that would be to fix it within the series formula in the formula bar by cutting what's the X data and pasting it behind what was the Y data to reverse the order of those two. Notice now I'm back to where I started. And then finally we could right click somewhere on the chart, select the data, edit the series, and either manually change these, or for the video I'll just cut, paste, cut, and paste. And then we finally get back to the 1.011, which is what we know beta to be from our calculations. Moving to the beta problem. In this case, we actually need to calculate the returns in beta. Beginning on June of 2013, and always using the most recent 36 months of data available at the time. So we'll go to June of 2013, take the slope with the security as the Y's and the S&P as the X's, and we see right here we're getting 36 months of data as we were asked to in the problem. And so we should be able to just copy that down, and just to make sure we didn't need any absolute references, let's click here and see that we're still getting 36 months of data. Just to make sure, I'm going to click on row 84 after I stop editing the formula and do a control shift down and see that again 36 rows of data. So now I need to make a chart, and I will start with the dates, control click, control shift up, and then do an alt N to pull up the insert charts. And I think this time we want a line chart since we're working with dates. To get this to the top, I could be patient and drag it, or I could just do control X, move up, control V. And now I've got a chart that looks a lot like that one. I'm just going to trim it up to look exactly. Moving to the trend line problem. This one was straight off of the practice homework, and we see that we have plotted some historical data, and then we have fit a trend line through that, and we're showing the equation of the trend line on the chart. And then we've tried to recreate those calculations in the spreadsheet so that we could do some forecasting on our own. And it looks like the trend line used in the spreadsheet came straight off of the equation from the chart. I should say the formula in the spreadsheet came off the equation from the chart. And if we practice the problems, we would know to expect a significant figure problem there. And so anytime we're pulling an equation off the chart, especially if we're multiplying it by a number squared, we need to be very careful to get enough significant figures. In this case, we have a lot on the X multiplier, and we have a lot on the intercept. What we don't have is a lot of significant figures on x squared, and that's the way it's always going to be in these problems. This is the one where it will probably matter the most. So what we'll do is we'll take that, right click, format the trend line label. Instead of 7 decimal places, 9 is significant. 9 is sufficient for this problem. You may have used more, and that's even better. But instead of 0.57, if we had used 0.5714 in this calculation, then our orange dots would line up certainly close enough for visual here, and that's how we solve this problem. Now we'll move to the frequency problem, where we're asked to calculate returns and then bin the frequency of those returns. The key here is we have to remember to highlight all the cells where we want the answer before we start typing frequency. And then we can choose our data array, comma. Left arrow will pull us back up to the top of the screen, and then we can choose our bins array. The other key is to hit Control Shift Enter to fill in the answers. If we had forgotten to do it that way, if we had simply typed equal frequency, chosen the data array, comma, bins array, and then when it came time to hit Control Shift Enter, we realized we messed up. We should have selected those cells. Just go ahead and hit Enter, and that gets the equation captured, the formula, like we want it. Then we could select the cells and hit F2, and now it's like we actually typed the formula. So all we have to do is Control Shift Enter to get the answer. What naturally follows the calculation of a frequency based on bins is to create a histogram. And so the first way we're asked to do this is with a bar chart. So if we highlight some data, Alt-N C1, then Excel thinks we had 2 different sets of data there. So it puts series 1 as column A and series 2 as column B. As you know, we just wanted one series. So one way to fix that would be to right click, select our data, and remove the first one, and then change the color of the second one. One way to work around that problem is to not give Excel 2 columns of data to work with. Simply select the data that will become our data series 1, do our Alt-N C1. Now we have the chart without the data labels. Data labels are easy enough to add. We know 2 or 3 ways to do that. One is to click on the bars and come up here after the first column and then select our data. Another would have been to right click on the chart and select data. After we have the chart the way we want it, we can click on it, hold down the Control key and copy it, and then change the chart type. We can do it with a line chart. We'll have to come in and smooth the line. But then we'd have a very hard time getting our data labels to match up. I went ahead and gave credit if you did it that way, but the way that I had in mind would be to change the chart type to an XY. And we've already smoothed that chart. Need to put the labels low. And in this case, I don't believe we need any other alterations. I hope this was helpful in your review of Quiz 5.